Are you on the internet?
What, is it lagging?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on.
Hi there and welcome. It's Jackie here from stampingjack.com. Welcome to our third session of today's live catalogue launch party. So we are enjoying or having fun with items from our new mini catalogue. So in case you missed it, a little while ago we had a session playing with some of our celebration products, which are these freebies you can get for every £45 that you spend. But for the next hour or so, we're going to be playing with the Gorgeous Leaves bundle. Now, this is my number one choice from the new catalogue. I absolutely adore this. I love the dies, and I think they're just, it's fantastic, and I think I'm going to have a lot of fun playing with this one. So as you arrive, just leave me a comment below so that I know that you're here, and I will just double check my setup, make sure that I'm live in all the right places, and then we can get going. If you missed the crafting session earlier on, you can watch it again on the replay. Hi Lynn, welcome. Hi Diane, good to see you again. Yeah, thanks for sharing, Lynn. Do make sure to share the videos. Let me just make sure. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Right. So over the last hour or so, I've been sharing some videos of some of the products from the new catalogue that I haven't ordered. So I hope you've been enjoying those. I also posted up a quiz question. So have a look at that about celebration products. So when you got your answer in there, all the correct answers will be entered into a draw. And I will pick a winner at random tonight during bingo night. So as I say, bingo night is 8 o'clock tonight. I see that lots of you have been sharing your numbers for me, but do make sure to do so if you haven't already. All you got to do, it's free to enter. All you got to do is pick 5 numbers between 1 and 25, enter them in the comments on the pinned post, and then show up at 8 o'clock tonight, and we will play some bingo and make some cards. It's usually a lot of fun. I am going to be doing various posts throughout the afternoon, so do keep an eye on the page. One of the posts that are coming a little bit later, to give you a heads up, is that I'm doing something a little bit different, which is I want to try and get the word out there and get some new blood and some new people joining us on the page. So what I'm going to ask is if you tag a friend in the post, then you and your friend will be entered into a draw. So again, I'll draw it tonight. So if you tag 4 friends, you get entered 4 times and they get entered 1 time each. So if you've got crafty friends and you think that they would enjoy what we do here, then please do tag them in that post so they point their way to this page, and we'd love to welcome them. Try and do it this afternoon. The reason I've done it then is that it gives people then time to come along to bingo. So you could specifically invite them to bingo night tonight, which would be kind of cool. So that's that. So let's get going, shall we? Let's get cracking. So this is, as I say, this is Gorgeous Leaves. And like I said before, I'm just not in the Christmas zone just yet. I don't tend to get in the Christmas zone till quite close to Christmas. And I have to say, if I didn't do classes or Facebook Lives, I probably wouldn't even begin making my Christmas cards till probably about halfway through December. I'm a bit of a last minute merchant, as many of you might have guessed. I tend to wing it quite a lot, but I know some of you do it quite early. So, but this one, absolutely, I've been there's been a bit of a turn in the weather recently, so I've been starting to feel a little bit autumnal. So this just totally fits in with that. So I'm going to share a couple of cards with you with this one, something really simple and then some slightly more complicated ones. But I think you can expect to see this one, the dies and the stamp set, popping up quite a lot over the next little while. I particularly like these textury bits. You all know I love a good splodge or a splat, and these are really, really super. So I'm going to start with a super, super simple card. So what we've got here is I have die cut this sleeve here just out of white cardstock. Okay, so we've got these leaves here, cut out the stamped images, And then these are the skeleton leaves. Okay, so we've got a basic grey card base. We've got a grey granite layer on top of that. So I'm going for kind of monochrome grey. Look, this could be a masculine card, I think. And then we've got our layer of Whisper White. And I also have a strip of basic grey. So the other stamp set that I'm going to be using with this is the Welcoming Woods stamp set. And I'm going to use the Hello Friend from here. Okay, so we'll just grab that. Here we are. Okay, so we're going to do our stamping first, and then from this one I'm going to use the wood texture. I love this. Okay, so then we're going to use some grey granite ink, which is here. I was looking in my ink carousel, but I'd been very organised and had it already laid out. Okay, so we can put these pieces to one side for the moment. This card is just ridiculously simple. Okay, so all I'm going to do, here we go, is stamp that. Okay, and I'm just repeating the stamping to create that. And then I'm just going to lay my leaf on top. Okay, that's it. Now I'm just going to do a bit of heat embossing. So I'll bring back in, I've got my things here. So I'll lay that to one side. And we're going to take our strip. Oops. Always use the embossing buddy, very important. That gets rid of any static, so it allows the embossing powder to stick where your ink is and nowhere else. Okay, so just make a bit of space for myself here. There we go, and then we're going to use our white embossing powder on here. That's it. And then just pop that back in there. Close everything up. Just going to get our heat tool going first before we bring it to our card, and that helps. You can see, turns really quickly. There we go. Okay. Let's bring back in our piece. Okay. So now I'm going to, this is the fiddly bit, as I'm going to try to pop this up. So I'm just looking for my mini dimensionals. I know that that one will fit nicely there. And I'm just going to trim these. Now, what I could have done is I could have die cut this onto one of our adhesive foam sheets. That would have worked too. But what I'm doing now is I'm just popping a tiny strip just along the veins of our leaves. So this is just from the edge. See, I'm just trimming it from the edge of our mini dimensionals. Really, really thin. Trying to see which side has actually got the adhesive on it, because it's so skinny. It's hard to tell. There. So as I say, this is the trickiest part of this card. Okay, and then we'll just put some on the stem. I'm just going to cut another strip. grab my leaf of Stella. And I'm just going to add extra. There we go. Oops. Leave that for 1 second, and then I'm going to grab, I have my grey marker. I'm just going to add a little bit of splat. There we go. Okay, and then we'll just pop our leaf on. Like so. Okay, and then we've got our hello friend. So I'm going to trim this, again, trim this quite close. Pop that there. And I'm just going to grab, I'm not sure if this will work, but I'll try it. So this is part of our elegant trim. And it might be a bit too much, but let's see. Let me create a little loop. Let's do it this way, make it easier. Yeah, that works better. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I've got our mini dimensionals, so I'm going to pop one there, and pop a bit of adhesive into the center, just to hold our trim. Now we did used to have very fine metallic thread, which would have been even better for this. So if you've got that, that would also work really, really well. Okay. I'm just faffing now. That's the technical term, by the way. Okay, and then I'm going to put a glue dot on here. Now the reason I'm doing that is because this is already popped up. So if I put a dimensional on there, it won't be level. It will be uneven. So all I need is just, and it will also hide the dimensional that's just popping out there. Oops. Ugh. I'm regretting this now, but I will make it work. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to pop a glue dot over the top to just hold it in place a bit better. Keeps popping off. There we go. Okay, whoops. Pop that there. There we go. Alright, and then we just glue. You can see where I was experimenting earlier. Okay, and then sure I got my card the right way around. Yes. Okay, and then do our inside. So for the inside, I'm going to take this image here, ink it up in the grey granite. Ooh, got some thumbs up. You like that one, ladies, do you? Apart from the faffing with the twine, it's really, really easy. And then I'm just going to do that in the centre. Okay, and then we can stick that to the inside of our card. So there we go. Super, super simple. That would actually, oh, shall we make this straight? What do you reckon? There. Would also make a really nice sympathy card or a male birthday card. Just a mail card generally. So there we go. That's card number 1. Right, let's make some room here. Ooh, hearts. Lovely. Thank you, ladies. Okay. So that's card number 1. Next we have something a little bit different. Okay, so for this one I'm going to use this long leaf here. Okay, I need my scrap paper. And I've got a Whisper White card base, a Pacific Point layer, and I don't normally use Pacific Point, but it is a really nice glue. I don't know why I don't use it more often. And then we've got a Whisper White layer there. But we're going to put these to one side for the moment. And then I've got a scrap, and I've made the scrap just a little bit taller than our leaves, okay? So we're going to do a bit of stamping, and I've got a fun colour combination for this. So I've got Polished Pink, Pacific Point, and Just Jade. So, right, so let's just open these up. So this is just, you know, when you see this stamp set, you kind of immediately think, this is all autumnal, this is all, you know, browns and russets and golds and greys and all those sorts of colours, but actually it doesn't need to be. And I think I'm missing a piece here, just 1 second. Yeah. I also need a strip of Pacific Point. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this big set stamp here. I'm looking for a big block. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically just stamp along the length of this. Okay, let's change up and let's do blue next. Same thing. There we go. Okay, and then finally I'm going to do our green. Now you could use any colours that you wanted for this, but I like the way these 3 go together. There we go. Okay, so that on its own is kind of cool. All right, let me just close these up. But now I'm just going to grab my mini cut and emboss machine. Okay, grab my plates. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to put our leaf on top like so. Let's just get these in right and run it through. And I do like having this little mini machine. I still have my Big Shot, but this mini machine is really handy for just doing these small die cuts on my craft table, because my big shot is kind of over there. I have to get up and walk like a whole 3 feet to get to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip them so they're not always the same. And with intricate dies like this, I do like to go through twice. Twice is plenty. You can see how easily they pop out and come away. There we go. Just popping out some of the bits. I do have a die brush somewhere, but I'm not sure where it is, so I'll just keep going. And I'm going to grab that die brush. You guys don't really want to watch me poking all of these little bits out. So if you notice here, this second one I didn't cut through very well, and the reason for that was that I didn't clear out the bits from the previous time I ran the die through. So you've got to be careful of that when you're cutting multiples with your intricate dies. The odd bit in there doesn't really make a difference, but you do just need to be careful of that. Okay. Just knocking over my pads. There we go. So now we have our hi Sue. That's all right. You can watch the replay. So now we've got our leaves. There we go. All right. So I can cut some more later, or I can cut a different shape. Okay. There's that. Let's bring our leaves in. So I'm going to do the same trick as I did before on the other leaf. With this one, I'm going to cut a strip from my mini dimensionals, just from the edge, like so. And this one's a lot easier because you can just go right through the center of the leaf. Like that. That's all you need. There we go. Hi Sue, thanks for sharing. Actually, would somebody, because I forgot to do it, would somebody who's on mind sharing this to our VIP group, please? Can any of you do that? I think you should be able to. I normally do at the beginning of a live, but I forgot. So if someone could do that, that would be awesome. Thanks, Sue. I like them. And I like that it's, not... As I was just saying at the beginning, is that, this stamp set and die set kind of screams autumn, but these are some really not very autumnal colours at all. But it still works. Yeah. Keep forgetting that when I cut the edges of my dimensionals, what comes away doesn't have the backing taking off, so I have to take the backing off. So there we go. There's our leaves. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in our little Pacific Point strip, and I'm going to do some more heat embossing. Because you all know that I love heat embossing white on black. But I've just recently started, as you'll have noticed, you can heat emboss obviously on any colour, and it works on any kind of dark coloured cardstock. So we've got the Hello Friend. I'm going to use the same one. This is a great sentiment. So this is from the Welcoming Woods, which is another one of our new stamp sets. There we go. A little bit more on there. That's better. There. And then back in the tub. Do not want that out. Right, let's bring our heat tool in. It should still be warm from the last card, so it shouldn't take long for this to go. There we go. Magic. Every time it gets me. I love it. There we are. Okay. So let's bring back in our pieces and then we just assemble. So we've got our piece here. And all we're going to do is just place our there. But before that, I'm going to take the, what's the word? Texture. Okay, and I'm just going to create, I'm going to use some Sahara sand. I'm just going to create something really, really subtle. Okay. We've got our Sahara sand here. And then I'm going to stamp off. Oh no, that's still too dark, or I should say darker than I want it to be. So, all right, so we're going to stamp off twice. That's better. Okay. That just adds a little bit of extra texture behind, like so. So I'm going to put my center one down first. So this layout is always a dead easy layout to do. You've seen me do this lots and lots of times, is to just take 3 images and lay them along the center like this. But it's really, really effective, and this works for any kind of image really. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same here. We've got our Hello Friend. Okay, we're just going to pop that there. So we're just going to put a dimensional on one side, we'll get a mini, and then a glue dot on this side. There we go, and then we're just going to glue this to our Pacific Point layer. Look at that. It's just so simple. There we go. And then I'm going to take this leaf and I'm going to stamp it on the inside. in. I'm going to do the Pacific Point, but I'm going to stamp it off a couple of times. Yeah. I'm going to stamp it off once. There we go. And there we are. That's card number 2. Hope you like that one. But that, what I've just done there with just, you know, creating a sort of background piece like that using your stamps and then cutting die cuts out, that would work with anything. So if you had butterflies, that would work really well. And again, you could change the colours to be anything that you wanted, really. So let's just pop this back on there. And then we've got our... So for our next card, I am going autumnal. Okay. I have to say, when I was making these samples, I was feeling quite autumnal because the weather outside wasn't great. But actually now, as I'm making them, the sun has finally come back. It's been gone all week long. It's just been raining and miserable. And today, the sun has come back. So that's really nice. And just, as I said earlier, I'm trying desperately to keep things reasonably tidy today. Yeah. Okay, so now for this one. Okay, yes. Trying to remember what this one is now. Okay, so we've got a Merry Merlot base, so you can see I've got a bit of splatter on that, so I'm going to use this side. And then we've got a crumb cake base, and we're going to use Rich Raspberry and Mossy Meadow and Early Espresso. Where's my Early Espresso? It's with another box, hang on. Yeah, it's not Merry Merlot, it's Rich Raspberry. Okay. So, make sure I've got my correct layers. There you go, there's my layers there, and then I've just got a scrap here. So I've already die cut these branches. I love these branches, and then we're just going to ink up our leaves. So we've got one of each. Take the small one. Okay. And we've got this little detailed one. Alright, so as I say, we've got Mossy Meadow, Rich Raspberry, and Sahara Sand, which we had just a second ago. Okay, so let's move those out of the way. So I'm going to stamp our large maple leaf in Rich Raspberry. There we go. And then I'm going to stamp this one in Sahara Sand. And then I'm going to stamp this one. First of all, I'm going to clean it. And then I'm going to stamp it in Mossy Meadow. There we go. Okay. Whoops. And then I'm going to grab the solid dies from here. But can you see the texture on these? I really, really like that. Okay. And we're just going to die cut these out. Okay, so I've got my mini boss. Okay, and then we'll just put these on here. So as I say, this is perfect for just doing these little die cuts. And now I'm going to grab some washi tape. just going to add a little just to hold them in place as they go through the machine. You see that? Okay, and then top plate. And away we go. Because these are not detailed, they only need to go through once. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Goes back. Alrighty. So it's these, and I've already cut some out in other colours. So now we're going to do a little bit of a collage here on our piece. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Ornate Thanks stamp set, and I'm going to, because this is going to be a thank you card. Okay. So it's thanks. So I just wanted to say. So I like this because you've got the really big bit here, and then you've got some nice sentiments. Now to try and read them backwards. Just wanted to say. I'm just trying to find it now. Make my day. Just wanted to say. I knew it was on there somewhere. Right, that won't fit on that one. I'm just going to pop it on there. Okay, so I'm going to stamp the thanks in Sahara Sand. Okay, which is the Sahara Sand? This one. Oh, and then they just wanted to say in Rich Raspberry. And isn't that cool how that just wraps around? You see that? How that just wraps around the thanks. I think that's really nice. Whoop. Okay. So now we've just got to build our pieces. Oops. Okay, and I think I want now do I want something at the bottom as well? No, I think I like it like that. Okay, because I've also got some linen thread. So I'm just going to make a bow. You really like this bundle now, Sue. Mission accomplished. You might remember when the annual catalogue retired this year and Rooted in Nature stamp set and die set went, I was like, no, you can't take it away. And I think Stampin' Up! Have sort of redeemed themselves with this one. And again, this is another one where once I got started playing, the ideas really just kind of came flooding out. And actually, one of the problems I had with this one was actually just settling on one idea. That became really very difficult for me. So I'm just going to cut the stem off this one. Okay, and then I'm going to do my usual trick. I'm just going to add some adhesive here. Okay. And this way I can continue to just faff, basically, is the technical term in case anyone was wondering for what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm not popping any of this up, I'm just keeping it fairly straightforward. Now let me just make sure that that's not sticking out too much, that purple one. Yeah, so that needs to come in a little. Now, you could add more texture on here by stamping one of the splats or something like that, but actually I just like it. And I like it with the twigs down the bottom as well. But I think I want them to seem a bit closer together. I want them to meet. Yep. Okay, so now I'm going to trim this. In fact, I'm going to give it a nice flag end. So using my punch, the name of which escapes me right now. Here we are, and then I'm going to pop this up. Yep, that should do. Okay. So, I'm just going to do that, and then you can just trim this off. Being careful not to cut my leaf, because I do want my leaf to hang over, but I don't want my sentiment strip. There we go. And then we've got our little bow. So I'm just going to get a glue dot and again just roll it so it's like a little small cylinder-y bit. And then just pop it on the back. Here we are. And then I think what I'm going to add to this Now I can't decide between the matte dots or the metallic. So you let me know whilst I finish assembling, okay? Because I also need to stamp on the inside. So I'm going to take my main leaf. I'm going to stamp it in rich raspberry, but I am going to stamp off first. up some of these. So what do we think? The matte dots or the metallic dots? Now, I may just spoil it, but I'm going to... I've had an idea, so just 1 second. So Lynn says the matte dots. I'm going to take this little leaf here. Yeah. I'm going to stamp off. Metallic says Sue. Yeah, I think that works. All right, we've got a stalemate. We need a decider, matte or metallic. The next one decides. Right, I'm going to do this to the inside. Coming to the end of my glue here. Please don't make me decide, ladies. It's just too difficult. Okay, and then this is going to get glued onto my crumb cake layer. Now, this is not stuck down as much as I would like it to be, so I'm just going to add a few extra glue dots just for strength. Only because it's sitting over the branch. So, same with this one. That one's fine. Here we go. Right, I do need some wink of Stella in here. Can you see how it's bleeding the colour? That's why you've got to be really careful with it. But I kind of like the effect that it has on the leaves. There we go. Right. Doreen says matte. That's the casting vote. Okay, so let's grab the mat. So let's try, I think we need to go for a green. See if I can actually get it off. And then I'll put dark cherry cobbler up here. There we go. Okie dokie. So there we have it. So that is the Gorgeous Leaves bundle. Let's just bring that stamp set and dies back in. And let's bring back in our cards. So now it's over to you, ladies. It is time to vote. Is it card number 1, card number 2, or card number 3? I don't know if you can lift my camera up a little so we can get them all in. There we go. 1, 2, or 3. So as I say, you'll notice now what I do is with these, just another little tip for you, is that I keep, when I'm die cutting stuff, it's just I keep the bits in here so that next time when I'm making a card, I've just got a few bits already made. So Sue says 3, 1, 2. Ooh, hearts, lovely. Lynn says 2, 3, 1. Ooh, I think we're going to have one of those where everybody's got a different favourite, are we? So have I succeeded in putting this on anybody's wish list? Let me know. Let's say this is my top pick from this catalogue. Alright, so that's it for this one. I will be back at, which was the 4 o'clock, at 5 o'clock with the Sparkle of the Season bundle. Yes, Sparkle of the Season bundle at 5 o'clock. So Sue Bishop says probably. Well, let's see what happens by the end of today. Doreen says 3, 1, 2. But I think, I'm not sure, how much does that bundle, does the Gorgeous Leaves bundle cost? Because I think, let me just see. Yeah, it's $41.25. So if you added a little bit of twine or something to it, then you'd get a celebration item for free as well, which is kind of cool. And of course, Sue, I know you're part of the monthly stamp club, so you could make it your order next month, so you'd get your freebie then, because the celebration promotion runs till the end of September. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody. It's been lovely having you here, and I will see you again in an hour or so at 4 o'clock. Bye.